Welcome back to my African Safari beta project, and in this episode, we're going to be working on our train station, but we will get into what we're doing in a little bit because I got a couple of things to tell you guys about. First, this is coming out about a week after the Planet Zoo beta has been closed, so this project is complete and it's just a little bit later coming out, but I promise it is complete. And speaking of that, coming out the rest of this week, we'll have the last time lapse, which will be part 4, and we'll be finishing up everything in that. And then the final video with the train POV and all of that stuff will be right after that. So we do have this done, and it will be coming out pretty soon. And then with the other stuff, Golden Gulch will be coming back as we have a break between Planet Zoo and the opening of it, the actual launch. So we're going to be going back to Planet Coaster, and Planet Coaster will be not leaving at all. We've just been hitting this hard. But for right now, we are going to be working in this, and we are working the train station and the queue for our African safari ride, or train, I guess you could say. In the last episode, we worked on the backstage area for both of the exhibits, and this time we're actually going to be going right behind the big backstage area, and we're actually going to be connecting the two buildings. We're using the same walls, and we're actually going to be connecting the roofs and putting a little bit of support work and detailing work to make them look a little bit more meshed together in one building instead of two separate buildings pushed together. So that's what we have going on here. There's not going to be nothing too crazy. The last episode was a little bit shorter, and this episode is a bit longer, as I said. But for right now, we are just going to be working on the exterior of this building, the walls, getting everything laid out how it needs to be. Some of the walls were a little bit weird to get in, especially when I was working in the interior of the queue, and this queue is going to be themed a little bit. I wanted it to be like you walk in under the train station, and it was a little like museum of the animals that you would be seeing, and you could get a little bit of information before you got on the train and you actually saw them. And then along with this, you just get a little bit of a relaxing environment. Well, and then like it's more of that museum style, as I said. And then on top of that, you have this grand train station above it. That's just the ride station. It's not a legit train station. Well, I take that back. It is a train station. It's just not meant to look like a train station. It's meant to feel like it's part of the theming to it. And hopefully I accomplished that. I don't know if I did or not. But I will say, when I was looking at the pathing, there are a lot of pathing options, not for queues, but for the actual pathing. And I tried that out at the beginning of the video, where I was just kind of playing around with what pathing to use, and there's a lot of great textures. There's a lot more than Planet Coaster, and I really like some of them. Like, they have a really good tiles. They're kind of mosaic, stuff like that, which I thought was really cool. But as we're moving on here, we're still working on the exterior of this, and we're actually going to be putting in these log pieces a lot. You'll see these as a lot of border work details and some fencing. Actually, we're going to be doing some fencing with them. They are a bit thick to be using use them as fences, but I really like how it comes out in the end, as I have been liking everything in this project, how it's come out. I don't know if it's like actually all that good. It's pretty good in my mind, I would say. But this is gonna be pretty much the last building part. The next episode is gonna be the last one, as I stated, and we're gonna be working on more of the scenery stuff. So the trees, we're gonna be placing down all the animals. So there's gonna be a lot going on in that one, but it should be a fairly quick episode, and it's gonna be a lot of trees and terrain and all of that. And I did get distracted in that a lot as well. I was trying to make sure that everything was working out, so there's a lot of hard work into that episode, which will probably be a little bit shorter. But you guys will see that in that episode when it comes out. And as I said that, well, as I might not have said, I don't know. I kind of losing track here, but it should be coming out this Saturday, I believe. And that Saturday, we will also have the final video coming out the same day, trying to get back into the groove of things here. So that should be what the plan is for the rest of the series. And then by the time the actual launch comes in, we'll be jumping into franchise mode and starting our own franchise. So that's the plan for Planet Zoo. I've keep going over jumping around in this video, and that's just because I don't have too much to talk about with this. I mean, we're just kind of making this train station and the queue. Nothing too interesting is going on. The next episode, as I said, would be the scenery, and that one will be good in detail, just because there's a lot of different things going on, and each animal has different stuff that has to meet requirements. So that one's going to be a little bit more interesting detail wise. This is just kind of almost a plain old building that I'm trying to make interesting, and I guess that's part of the game, is trying to make some buildings look more interesting than they need to be. But I think that's with a lot of simulation games. You can't look at it from a working standpoint. You got to kind of look at it from a guest standpoint and see, like, how would this be really good or really bad, and which ways can you improve it. But you can't go too critical into it, because some things just can't work out. But we are doing the roofing now. We're completing that up. We used the logs, as you probably saw, as supports and border work as well. And then we're actually going to use some fences, and those are going to be used. We're going to change the colors and all that, and all that good stuff. And then we'll be moving on to some more stuff. And I'm just a tad bit behind this video, but we're actually moving on to the lighting now, and I love this transition to the day or night, but it does take a second if you're trying to build something. So I don't know, from a game point standpoint, that's really nice how it's a slow and nice transition, but then when you're building and you need it to snap, it's weird. I don't know, I have mixed feelings about the transition, but the lighting is really nice. We got this four-corner style thing going on here, and that's going to be going around the logs and on top of the logs, and I think I really like how this came out as well. Some things were not all that good, but I kind of just left it because I wanted to move on to more interesting stuff. So we did put these hanging lamps as well. These ones made it look a little bit more like a science lab, but we're going to use these a lot, especially in the queue, which we're placing right now. And those ones are going to come in for the scenery of the queue, and we're actually getting near the end of this time lapse, so we will be placing some outside decor decorations, and then also some billboards in here to give some little education. As I was saying, I wanted this to feel a little bit like a museum, and my game will actually crash here in a second. So luckily I had everything saved and everything was good to go, so I didn't lose any progress. But that's all that we have for this episode, so thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. We'll be back with part 4 very soon, so until then, thank you guys so much for watching, and make sure to have an amazing day.